Y'all gotta understand that a lot of this stuff is turned into the Smithsonian, the Oriental Institute, and is never seen again. Why? Because it doesn't fit the narrative of the public. You see what I'm saying? The narrative that they done set forward. You see what I'm saying? So even when you talk about ancient America, they break open them Native American mounds and find skeletons of giant people, 8 feet, 10 feet tall. You see what I'm saying? So I found this article today I wanted to share with y'all right quick. Share and like the video, family. This ain't in the video I was coming with y'all, but I just seen the article. I was like, hold on, let me do some research on this. Then I went and did some research. So I'm gonna read this article and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna dive in. Hold on. Listen to this. In 1881, when Professor, I'm talking proof, Professor Timmerman was engaged in exploring the ruins. And we're in ancient Egypt now. You see, the publication is called Prehistoric Egyptian Giants. In 1881, when Professor Timmerman was engaged in exploring the ruins of the ancient temples of Isis on the banks of the Nile, 16 miles below Niger, he opened a row of tombs in which some prehistoric race of giants had been buried. The smallest skeleton out of the six, oddly, which were examined during the time of Timmerman, was evacuated at the Niger. And Najah measured 7 feet 8 inches tall. That was the smallest one, and the largest one was 11 feet 8 inches tall. Good gracious, 11 feet. Now, okay, now the smallest one was 7 feet 6 inches tall. Let's see, 8 inches tall, and the tallest one they found was 11 feet 1 inch tall. Excuse me. The memorial tablets were discovered in great numbers, but there was no record that they even hinted that they were in memory of existed men of extraordinary size. It is believed that the tombs date back to the year 1043 BC. Now, the thing about that is when it comes to this type of information, a lot of the historians and archaeologists refuse to talk about it because they think they don't have physical evidence. But if you look at the sarcophagi, y'all gotta remember a lot of the tombs done been robbed and the bodies have been taken. They not showing. I told y'all when we was talking about the museums that day, where a lot of the artifacts, they never even really show. You see what I'm saying? This might come out 10 years from now, what I'm reading to you today. You see what I'm saying? So you need to listen up. And that was in 1881. You see what I'm saying? It's over 100 years ago. You see what I'm saying? I was born in 1981, so that was 100 years in 1981. You see what I'm saying? So you talking about 130 years ago, 140 years ago. You see what I'm saying? But if you look at the sarcophagi, it's extra big. Them joints be like 15 feet long. You see what I'm saying? And the Egyptologists don't have a way to explaining it away. So they just kind of try to ignore that fact. But if you look how big, and I shared the picture with y'all of this article, and I shared a picture of some of the a few images of giant people in ancient Africa, and that would also explain, like when we talked about the building of the pyramids that day, and we was talking about alchemy. You see what I'm saying? When we was talking about alchemy. Now that's one way, but if you look at these uh giant pharaohs, that would explain a lot of how they picked up some of the heavy blocks. Instead of it would be more practical that it was some And if you look at the naughty African today, it's giants in Africa today. That's facts. Just look up naughty Africans. And they the same height as they saying that these people is. But, normally if you talk about a giant, they got, more strength than just a normal human. You see what I'm saying? And you will see pictures in ancient Africa where it's normal sized humans, and then the Pharaoh be giant. They try to tell you that just him predicting he the big dog on the block, where he the Pharaoh, where he shining trying to be famous. Nah, that might be one way. You see, to progress his power, to show that he bigger than everybody. But what if you look at that literal, is what I'm saying. Because if you see the sarcophagus, why would they make a sarcophagus 15 feet long, 12 feet long, and the man only 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall? You see what I'm saying? The sarcophagus be a lot larger than what we would think a normal human would be. It would like be trying to put a man that's bigger than Shaquille O'Neal inside a 6-foot coffin. You see what I'm saying? So they would have to make a coffin to fit the size of that mummy. You see what I'm saying? Of that mummy. You see what I'm saying? So, like I talked, and if you look at Homer, we're going into some scholarship tonight. If you look at Plato, you see people like that. They said that the ancient Africans was 10 feet tall. You see what I'm saying? And see the finite mind can't process nothing like that. We might see, somebody big come along here and there, like it's just one or two. But if you look at Africa today, you see the taller Africans all the way to the Twa, the shortest Africans. And then you see the tallest people in the world, which are the naughty Africans. And it's thousands and thousands of them. Ain't no just, it's a tribe. It's not just one perfect person that just sporadically popped out tall. No, it's a tall race of Africans dead now. And that would be easy to explain why you got, because all the tribes was in the Nile. I always tell y'all that. That would explain why you got 12 feet and 15 foot long sarcophagi. And then they so big you can't even fit them through a door. How could you move some that weigh a ton? 10 tons. How? You see what I'm saying? Where would you get that muscle from? For one, that's not practical. You see what I'm saying? That's not practical, because they try to tell you that they built ramps. They try to say they still don't know. They just tell you that they don't know. You see what I'm saying? But the ancient Egyptians dealt with magic also. The alchemy, which is science and chemistry. You see the periodic table and all that. So when we look at the science of building a pyramid, we can look at it twofold. See, we looking at levitation, and we looking at giants with superhuman strength. And here go the evidence. I'm gonna read it one more time, family. Then we gonna get into the videos that I was gonna do. Listen, in 1881, Professor Thurman was engaged in exploring the ruins of the ancient temple of Isis on the banks of the Niger, 16 miles below the Niger River. The Niger. He opened the row of the tombs, which in prehistoric race of giants was buried in the smallest skeleton was 7 feet 6 inches tall. The largest skeleton was 11 feet 1 inch tall. You see what I'm saying? And this was in 1881, family. In 1881. So you talking about, who's to say the pharaohs wasn't giants as Plato and Socrates and Homer and all these people described them to be? Black, tall, and what did they say today? Tall, dark, and handsome, right? You see what I'm saying? So if you go study Greek history, Greek mythology, you will see the ancient Africans as giants, and in ancient Egypt. Drop out.